Beardo Banjo.
Hello there everyone and welcome to this video that I filmed today in this chair in my house, somewhere in the United Kingdom. Yesterday was the Meta Quest gaming showcase and I think it was pretty damn good. That's my personal humble opinion. I think the show really nailed it. I think they gave us a lot of great announcements and they covered pretty much all the key genres. Bit of RPG, a little bit of sports, a little bit of music, a little bit of horror, a little bit of action, a little bit of puzzle, a little bit of multiplayer. There was a lot in there. Pretty much something for everyone. Now first, before I get into the video, let me just say thank you to everyone who joined me for the live stream. I had almost 700 people watching that live with me on the channel. That is a record for this channel. And it blew my mind and is still blowing my mind today, even though we're kind of removed from the event. I can't quite fathom that many people watching it with me on this little channel. It blows me away, so thank you so much to all of you who came by. Now in this video today, what I want to do is rank all the announcements, so just recap the announcements we got yesterday and rank them in order of hype. My own personal hype, from least hyped for to most hyped for. Now these are just my personal opinions. Don't come for me in the comments because you don't agree. You can have your own opinion, it's fine. But I am really excited for all of the games and experiences that were announced yesterday. But there are obviously some that I'm more excited for than others. Now alongside this video, which is a recap video, I also want to do a giveaway. I want to give someone a $100 Quest store gift card that they can spend on maybe some of these new games that are coming out, or just maybe some games that are out now already. You can spend it on whatever the hell you want. If you want to be in with a chance to win that, follow the Gleam link in my description and leave a comment telling me what VR game you're most excited for that's coming soon. It doesn't have to be from the showcase, just tell me. I want to chat to people about VR games and I want to know what you're excited about. So there we go. Join the Gleam link in the description. Leave me a comment. Let me know which game you're most excited for that's coming out this year, next year, whenever. And someone will win a $100 gift card for the Quest store that they can spend on whatever they want. Just a quick side note, if you do win it in the UK, you can still use it. You just have to use a VPN to trick the store into thinking you're from the States. Now let's get into it. Let's rank these games in order of hypiness, my own personal hypiness, from least hyped to most hyped. Coming in dead last, the thing I'm least hyped for is the new Beat Saber electronic music pack. Now I'm not hating on Beat Saber here. I love Beat Saber and I always jump in to check out the new music packs. But it's harder and harder to get excited for those packs for me personally, as someone who plays Beat Saber quite casually. I play it more now as a fitness escape, something I just jump into, I play a few songs, get a bit sweaty, jump out, come back in a couple of weeks' time. That is my Beat Saber experience at this point in time. I think it would also be a different story if the music was more my vibe. I typically listen to a lot of punk, a lot of ska, a lot of rock, and a lot of the packs recently have been kind of EDM or pop or electronic music that isn't really my style. I will still check it out. It's cool that Pendulum are in there. And it's still the thing I'm the least hyped for. Next up we have NFL Pro. And again, okay, this isn't something that I'm saying looks bad. I actually think this looks really fun and I can't wait to check it out. But as a very, very English person, I struggle to get excited for NFL. I know there are fans of the NFL in the UK, but I'm not a particularly sporty guy. I barely care about football, let alone American football. So for me, this is something that it's hard to get excited for. But objectively looking at it, it's really exciting that there's an official NFL product coming to the Quest. It's another licensing win for the Quest platform and another licensing win for VR in general. It's great to see bigger corporations and companies and entities getting in on the VR hype and giving us new products. So I'm excited to check it out. I think it's going to be fun, but it's not one I know enough about to be hyped for. Next up is RUINSMAGUS. Now I'm not saying this game looks bad, I want to emphasize that. I'm not saying that any of these things are bad. I think it was a strong showcase in terms of announcements. But for my own personal taste and preference, RUINSMAGUS hasn't really hooked me yet, or at least it didn't with that initial trailer. I would like to find out a little bit more about how the core gameplay elements are going to work here. It does seem to be a JRPG, and in terms of video game genres, JRPGs sit quite low for me. I never got into Final Fantasy. It's turned into a confessions video. I never got into Final Fantasy. I haven't played like the Tales of Vesperia games or Tales of... They've got millions of them. They're always Tales of something. JRPGs have been elusive for me. I do like games with an anime aesthetic. I really enjoyed Tale of Oniguru recently, but I want to know more about what Ruin of Magus is actually about. I want to see how the gameplay mechanics work before I get hyped up for it. Looks gorgeous, I'm sure it's going to be great, but right now, just a little bit reserved. Hype levels starting to move up now. Next up, we have Cities VR. Now, this one places quite low down the list, purely because it's really soon. It's out really soon. I've already been hyped for this game. I've spent my hype. It was actually a strange inclusion in the showcase in general. I was a little bit surprised to see it there. It kind of makes sense because it's that last final push before launch to say, hey guys, don't forget, this is out in like a week's time. Come and grab it. But also, we all know about it. We've seen it. We've seen a lot of different trailers now, and it was strange sitting in there amongst all these other games that we've kind of not seen before, or generally not seen before. I am still very excited for Cities VR. It's the now only VR city builder coming out this month because Little Cities has been delayed, and I am going to sink some time into it very, very soon. Not super hyped because I knew a lot about it going in, but still hyped because it does look very good. Another game now that's suffering from a similar situation to Cities VR in terms of hype levels, Moss Book 2. Now, I'm eternally grateful that this is coming to the Quest platform. I didn't want to break out the PSVR, set up all the cables, set up the camera, charge the Move controllers. I didn't want to go through all of that to play Moss Book 2, but I've really wanted to play this game. So I'm very excited that I can finally go hands-on with this without the faff of setting up the PSVR, which I do love, but it's a faff. Now, my hype levels aren't crazy through the roof because I've already seen a lot of gameplay from this game, so very similar to Cities VR. I know what it's about, I know what to expect, it didn't take me by surprise, but I'm very happy to hear that it's coming to the Quest platform very, very soon. Halfway point now, so my hype's starting to peak. Starting to get up there. It's starting to hit the midpoint on the hypermeter, I guess. Can I get a picture of a hypermeter? Stick that on the screen? I'll find one. Espire or Espire 2. Now, this isn't higher on the list because I didn't play the original. So, in one way, that's great. I've got this game that I can go back and explore and check out now, because the trailer for the second one has done enough to really intrigue me. I am terrible at stealth. Anyone who's watched any of my Alien Isolation VR playthrough videos knows that I'm not good at stealth, but the idea of a really well realised and fleshed out stealth game in VR still gets me excited. I know a lot of people were hoping to see Splinter Cell VR at this showcase, and it didn't come through, but Espire, I think it's Espire, not Espire, looks to be the Splinter Cell VR game that we kind of all want. Great tactical espionage, sneaking through vents, plotting out enemies' paths and kind of distracting them to send them away so you can get through somewhere. I like the look of this, but I want to go and play the first before I get too excited, because that will give me a good understanding and basis of what I can expect from the new game. So I am starting to get hyped, but I'm not tipping past the midpoint just yet. Okay, I'm really starting to get hyped now. Among Us VR looks amazing. It looks absolutely awesome. I kind of think there is probably a conversation to be had around, but Among Us has had its day. Dead game. You see that all the time. If you go on Twitter and look at any game that isn't currently the hottest thing, it's a dead game according to somebody. Now, I don't think Among Us is a dead game at all. I think Among Us is a great game, and I think it's got great staying power. It's just a shame the VR version is coming kind of after that initial peak of popularity that Among Us had. But at that time, we had the VR chat equivalent and the Rec Room equivalents, and they are very good. But there's something about seeing the official Among Us assets and the official Among Us product properly translated into VR instead of the mods we've been used to. I'm really hyped to play this one. I'm going to try and get together a huge group of some of the best creators. I'm sure we'll sort something out. Yeah, Among Us VR, I think this one has a release date leaked. I think it's December. But typically, from my knowledge of working in video game stores, if you give something a December release date, it's usually a placeholder. I used to see a lot of December release dates, which ended up being the next year or much sooner. It could be wrong, it could be December, but December's a weird time to release a game. It's a little bit late in the year, in my opinion. Are you shocked that this one is not in the #1 spot? I'll explain to you why. Ghostbusters VR. I lost my mind when I saw this. Big Ghostbusters fan. Who isn't? You know, who's not a big Ghostbusters fan? I'm really excited to play this game. Plus, I love games like Phasmophobia, which I appreciate is a lot more terrifying. Phasmo's going for full-on ghost hunting action in a more grounded and terrifying sense. But the multiplayer teamwork aspect of it, when put into a Ghostbusters universe with proton packs, with traps, with everything that you have that's so iconic, that's a recipe for success, surely. If they get the multiplayer component down, it's going to be incredible. Now, the reason I'm not through the roof hyped just yet is because I haven't seen any gameplay. It's quite clear that what they showed at the showcase was just a pre-rendered CGI cutscene, which is great. It's enough to get people excited and kind of give a vibe and a feel for what the game's going to be like, but I can't let myself get too excited until I've seen some core gameplay and I understand what kind of content is going to be in this package. I've been burnt before, you know, I've got scars all over my heart for times when I've been excited for games I've seen CGI renders for and they've ended up being nothing like the finished product. But I do trust and believe in the team at nDreams, and I think they're going to make a fantastic product. I really do hope they will, but my hype levels are reserved for now until I see some actual gameplay. Top 3 now, so hype levels are just crazy. In at number 3, Red Matter 2. I have watched this trailer so many times because I'm convinced this is PC VR footage. The lighting in this trailer is absolutely phenomenal. Part of me still kind of believes they might be able to achieve something very close to this on the Quest 2. Red Matter, the original Red Matter, really pushed the Quest platform in terms of what it could achieve for visuals and gameplay mechanics. At the time that came out, it was pretty revolutionary. It was one of the very best looking games on the platform, and it's still a very good looking game on the platform. With asynchronous space warp, I think that's what the ASW stands for, it looks like developers are being given the opportunity to squeeze even more out of the platform than I thought was possible. I know Green Hell VR used asynchronous space warp to achieve the results in that game on the Quest 2, and maybe that's what's being used here to achieve these stunning visuals in this trailer. Now, if you haven't played Red Matter, I would urge you to do it. It is a little bit spooky, it is a bit puzzly, it's like a kind of a slow burn puzzle mystery game with a bit of a horror spin on it, and it's one of the best on the Quest platform. The sequel looks to be amping that all up, and these genuinely are some mind-blowing visuals. Cannot wait for this. In at number 2, because I'm a horror guy at heart and I love my zombies, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, probably the worst name for a game ever. You need to shorten that game. Just call it like Saints and Sinners Retribution. Get rid of the rest. You don't need it. I'm crazy excited for this game. They could have shown nothing, and I think this one would still be really high up on my hype list because Saints and Sinners is a proven formula at this point. It's still one of the very best VR games I've ever played, and they would just need to come out and say, yes, we're doing more, and then not even show a trailer, and my hype levels would just spike off the charts because the quality of that original is so phenomenal. And it looks like they're pushing things to the max on this new game. Now, the trailer was very atmospheric. It looks like you're going up against some kind of formidable big bad who's a human, not a zombie. Really, really excited for that. And the environments look amazing. If you haven't already, jump over to Steam and check out the screenshots they've got on the Steam page for the PC VR version of the game. There's some beautiful looking environments, and they're a little bit more lush, a little bit more green. There's a bit more green coming through, and that really appeals to me. I also can't wait to use the chainsaw. No brainer, really. Cut down zombies with a chainsaw. Very excited for Walking Dead Chapter 2. And you all know what that means. In at number 1, was it ever going to be anything else? Of course, it's Bonelabs. I'm so very excited for Bonelabs. This trailer is stunning. Now, my only concern walking away from the showcase yesterday and walking away from this trailer specifically was it was very clear that this was PC VR footage we were watching. They made that clear in the trailer itself. Along the bottom it did say, captured on PC VR may not be representative of actual gameplay. But those worries have actually been put to bed because some screenshots have emerged online of the Quest 2 version, and yes, you can see the difference, but oh my God, it still looks absolutely phenomenal. Most of the detail and textures and just realism of the product is still intact. It's the lighting that's taken a bit of a hit, which tends to be the case on the Quest 2 or Quest platform anyway. Now, I never thought they'd get those kind of visuals onto the Quest, so I'm blown away they've done it. But for me, Boneworks or Bonelabs now, it's about the physics. It's about the physics interactions and the playground aspect or feeling to the game. It really does feel like something you can jump into and just create your own fun. Now, for some people, I know that's a concern. I know GT actually expressed that he prefers to have a campaign to play through rather than just a toolbox of things to play with. And I'm still trying to work it out looking at this as to whether it is a playground or it is something with a campaign. I'd like to hope it's going to fall right in the middle. We know there's going to be mod support, and we know that at least for the PSVR version, you can import your own character and model to play through the entire game, which is amazing. I can't wait for this. I think this is the biggest announcement in the showcase. I think everyone's hyped for this. Be interested to find out when it's coming out. I'd imagine Q3 or start of Q4. I think it'll be a holiday release. Boneworks on the Quest. Bonelabs on the Quest. It's a real thing. It's going to happen, and it looks bloody good. That is the hypest thing from the MetaQuest gaming showcase. And that's my list. That's my hype list right there. As I say, it's just personal preference. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think I rated it in the right way? If you do agree with me, then maybe me and you have got similar tastes. Maybe we should go for a pint of beer at a pub. Maybe we should share a packet of pork scratchings together, because that's what friends do. And I think if we agree on this, we're probably friends. Was the MetaQuest gaming showcase perfect? No. Do I think they could have spent a bit more time to highlight not just their kind of big titles, but all the great things that are happening in VR right now, or for the Quest right now? Yes. I would have liked to see a slightly longer showcase that really gave some time to some of the indie darlings that are no doubt going to be coming out over the next kind of 8 months. The showcase really did just laser focus in on the big titles that the Quest and Meta in general are really pushing and are really excited for, but we know that's not everything that's coming out this year. There are more games coming this year from great developers, and I would have liked to see kind of almost an indie roundup or something in the event to kind of showcase them. I also would have liked to see some release dates. This was a complaint I had at the end of last year's showcase. Nothing got a release date except for Resident Evil Mercenaries, which just came out, which is the reason it's not on my hype list, because it's out. I think having release dates is great, but they did say everything in the showcase will be out by the end of this year. And again, I think that's one of the best things they could have done, because we're now living in a situation, we're living in a limbo right now where we have Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, and GTA all announced a little bit too early. And it's not the fault of the consumer. We're all excited to play these games, so we're going to keep asking for them at every event that's held, because we want to see them. So I think in gaming in general, people do tend to announce things too early. So I think it was a good showcase in terms of saying everything will be out by the end of the year, but I would have liked to see some release dates. They are all my thoughts on the showcase. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like, leave a comment, and hit subscribe, and I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Don't forget to join in the giveaway, $100 worth of store credit to spend on whatever the hell you want. Get involved. The link is in the description, and leave me a comment. I'll see you soon for another one. Take care. Goodbye.